Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins just made a move that's got people talking, especially fans who have been worried about the team's depth at running back. On Monday, they gave former Pittsburgh Steelers back Aaron Shamklin a tryout, and according to Mike Garafolo from NFL Network, Miami liked what they saw, enough to sign him. Now, if that name doesn't ring a bell right away, that's understandable. Shamklin isn't exactly a household name, but he's the type of under-the-radar pickup that can quietly make a difference. This signing comes on the same day the Dolphins also worked out veteran Jamal Williams, so clearly head coach Mike McDaniel and the front office are in roster adjustment mode. We shouldn't be shocked if another back joins the team this week. Training camp started with 5 backs, but after waiving rookie Nate No, they were down to just 4, and 4 is very light for any NFL team. Aaron Shamklin's NFL journey has been anything but easy, and that's part of what makes this signing intriguing. He played 3 games for the Steelers last season, carrying the ball 6 times for 17 yards and logging 27 total snaps between offense and special teams. Before that, he spent time with the Colts and Chargers, but last year with Pittsburgh was his only real taste of regular season action. Coming out of Harvard, yes Harvard, which I'm sure Ryan Fitzpatrick is smiling about right now, Shamklin went undrafted, but signed with the Colts to start his professional career. His scouting report paints him as a smart, tough runner. With soft hands, the type of player who can slot in as the last guy on a depth chart and still do everything you ask. He's not going to lead the league in rushing, but he brings versatility, work ethic, and football IQ, and sometimes those traits keep you in the league. The timing of his signing is not just about adding another camp body, it's also about necessity. The Dolphins are dealing with the unfortunate news that veteran Alexander Mattison is out after undergoing neck surgery in Chicago on Sunday. The injury happened late in the 4th quarter against the Bears when rookie defensive back Tyshim Johnson threw Mattison down at the end of a 21-yard reception, causing him to land awkwardly on his head. It was a scary moment. Mattison stayed down while trainers rushed over, and even head coach Mike McDaniel came to check on him. Thankfully, he walked off under his own power, but the soreness in his neck and shoulder turned out to be something far more serious. Losing him is a blow, especially since he was brought in during the offseason to address Miami's short yardage struggles, an area where the Dolphins desperately needed help after 2024's offensive hiccups in goal line situations. Mattison's signing back in the offseason made perfect sense for Miami. Coming over from the Las Vegas Raiders, he was expected to add that tough, between-the-tackles running style the Dolphins were missing, and in limited action this season, he delivered exactly that. His lone touchdown came in a short yardage scenario, a 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line, though it came after he got stuffed on 1st down and Zach Wilson threw incomplete on 2nd. Still, his ability to grind out those yards was something the coaching staff valued. Unfortunately, the neck injury changes everything, and Miami now has to pivot fast. That's why Shamklin's signing is more than just a depth move. It's about shoring up a position that can get dangerously thin if another injury hits. Running backs take a beating, and the Dolphins know they can't go into the season with such limited options. Depth here is more than a luxury. It's a survival. Now about Jamal Williams, he could still be on his way to Miami. Williams, the 8-year veteran out of BYU, is no stranger to finding the end zone. In 2022, with the Detroit Lions, he led the entire NFL in rushing touchdowns with 17, becoming an absolute red zone nightmare for defenses. The past 2 seasons with the New Orleans Saints weren't as flashy, but his track record speaks for itself. If he signs with Miami, he brings not only proven short yardage ability, but also veteran leadership to a young backfield. He's the kind of guy who can walk into a locker room and instantly raise the intensity, and for a team like the Dolphins, looking to make a playoff push, that kind of presence is invaluable. Whether Williams joins Shamklin or not, it's clear. The Dolphins aren't done making moves. The running back room is evolving, and fast. Another layer to this is the sheer physical demand of the running back position. Miami started camp with 5 backs: Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, Jeff Wilson Jr., Alexander Mattison, and Nate No. Once Noah was waived and signed by the Colts, that left 4. Now, with Madison sidelined, they were effectively down to 3 before Shanklin's arrival. That's just not sustainable, especially during training camp when reps are split and injuries are always a risk. NFL teams typically carry at least 5, sometimes 6 during the preseason to manage workloads. So bringing in Shanklin and possibly Williams isn't just about finding the next breakout star. It's about protecting the guys you already have, making sure they stay fresh for the long haul. In the NFL, depth isn't just a luxury, it's the safety net that keeps your season from falling apart when injuries strike. What stands out about Shanklin is his adaptability. He's not going to demand 20 carries a game, but he can slot in anywhere you need him: special teams, pass protection, receiving out of the backfield. That's a coach's dream when building a final roster. Noah Strackbine from Pittsburgh. Steelers and SI nailed it in his scouting report. Shanklin isn't flashy, but he's tough, smart, and reliable. And in Miami's system, those traits can shine. Think about how McDaniel schemes: lots of motion, creative play designs, and backs who can catch passes in space. Shanklin may not have had huge production in Pittsburgh, but that doesn't mean he can't carve out a role here. Sometimes the right system turns a depth piece into a valuable contributor. And with Miami's high-speed offense, a smart, versatile back could be the hidden weapon defenses don't see coming. Of course, we can't overlook the bigger picture here. The Dolphins are clearly going all in this season. Moves like this, even if they seem small, are part of a bigger strategy. McDaniel knows the offense can't be one-dimensional. Relying solely on the passing game is dangerous, especially late in the season when weather conditions change and defenses tighten up. Miami's running game was good at times last year, but lacked consistency, particularly in short yardage spots. That's why Madison was brought in, why Williams is being considered, and why Shanklin is getting a shot. This is about building a complete team, one that can win in multiple ways, if the Dolphins can get their ground game humming alongside that. Tua Tagovailoa's passing attack. This offense could be terrifying for opponents. And in a stacked AFC, you need every advantage you can get. Fans might not fully appreciate the significance of adding a player like Shanklin until they see him in action. These under-the-radar signings don't make headlines the way blockbuster trades do. But football is a game of depth and preparation. Injuries are inevitable, and when they happen, you need someone ready to step in without the whole system falling apart. That's where players like Shanklin earn their stripes. He may only see a few carries here and there, or maybe he'll make his mark on special teams, but those contributions matter. Championships aren't won by stars alone. They're won by complete rosters. And every time a team makes a smart, calculated addition like this, they're giving themselves a better chance. The Dolphins may have just found a reliable piece. Who could end up being the difference in a tight game down the stretch? Time will tell, but the move makes sense. So, the takeaway here is simple. The Dolphins are adjusting on the fly, and they're doing it with purpose. Signing Aaron Shanklin is about more than filling a roster spot. It's about maintaining depth, protecting the health of the roster, and preparing for the grind of an NFL season. Whether Jamal Williams joins him or not, Miami's backfield is in the middle of a reshuffle, and that's a good thing. Injuries like Madison's are a harsh reminder that football is unpredictable, and good teams adapt quickly. McDaniel and the front office aren't waiting around. They're making moves now, and for fans, that's exactly what you want to see. A team that refuses to get caught unprepared. If Shanklin fits the system, he could quietly become a valuable contributor. And if Williams signs, Miami could have one of the more interesting, well-rounded backfields in the league heading into the 2025 season. Still with us? Then show some love. And hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? There's been quite a buzz in the NFL world lately, and it seems Anthony Weaver just threw some serious shade on the Miami Dolphins. The former defensive coordinator didn't hold back when he criticized both the team's current on-field performance and the management upstairs. Now, of course, when a figure like Weaver speaks out, especially given his history with the franchise, it adds a whole new layer to the ongoing speculation about the Dolphins' future. Fans and insiders alike are whispering, could this be the start of a deeper internal shakeup? The timing of Weaver's comments couldn't be more interesting, especially as the Dolphins navigate a season that's been anything but smooth. The murmurs around the league suggest that the locker room might be feeling some tension, and Weaver's blunt remarks could be echoing what some players have been too cautious to say publicly. Is this the beginning of a public relations headache? For Miami, rumors are swirling that Weaver's dissatisfaction stems from more than just losses on the scoreboard. Some insiders hint that his critique touches on fundamental issues within the Dolphins' organizational culture. The whispers go beyond simple coaching strategies or play calls. They delve into how the front office has been handling player development and acquisitions. It's being said that Weaver feels the team is not living up to its potential, given the talent on the roster. Sources close to the situation claim there's a disconnect between the coaching staff and the executives, which might be trickling down and affecting player morale. Weaver's outspoken nature is seen as a sign that internal frustrations are boiling over, with the team possibly at a crossroads. The rumor mill is heating up around whether this public criticism could force the Dolphins brass to reconsider their approach in both management and coaching. What's particularly intriguing is how these criticisms might affect the Dolphins' locker room dynamic. Players are known to respect candidness, but there's a fine line between honest feedback and public calling out. Rumors suggest some players might be rallying around the coaching staff, while others could be quietly nodding, in agreement with Weaver's concerns. It's possible that Weaver's words could be a catalyst for change, or they might create more division. Given Miami's recent struggles and the high expectations placed on the team, the pressure is immense. The question circulating now is whether the Dolphins will see this as a wake-up call or as a distraction that could derail their season. Sources close to the locker room hint that the team is at a tipping point, and Weaver's statements might just be the spark that ignites either unity or further discord. On the management front, Weaver's criticism apparently cuts deep. Rumors suggest that he's unimpressed with the Dolphins' draft strategy and free agent signings over recent years. Observers are speculating that Weaver sees a lack of coherent vision from the front office, with decisions that don't seem to align with long-term success. There's talk about internal disagreements between the GM and the head coach, which may be stalling progress. According to some insiders, Weaver's public comments could be a veiled warning to the Dolphins executives to rethink their priorities. The speculation is that if changes aren't made soon, Miami might continue to struggle to compete with the league's elite teams. The Dolphins have always been a franchise with high aspirations, but Weaver's remarks suggest that the internal workings might be holding the team back from truly flourishing. Adding fuel to the fire, there are whispers that Weaver's critique could influence potential coaching changes. The Dolphins head coach is rumored to be under increased scrutiny, especially after a series of underwhelming performances. Some insiders suggest that Weaver's comments might embolden those who want to shake things up in Miami. There's speculation that ownership is closely monitoring the situation, trying to gauge whether patience is running thin. The buzz is that if the team continues on its current trajectory, a coaching overhaul could be imminent. It's also possible that Weaver's remarks were strategically leaked to test the waters and see how the public and players react. This all points to a season filled with uncertainty, where every game might carry even more weight for those involved in decision-making at the highest levels. The Dolphins fan base is no stranger to passionate debates, and Weaver's comments have certainly stirred the pot. Across social media and fan forums, there's been a mix of agreement and backlash. Some fans see Weaver as a truth teller, someone brave enough to call out the franchise's shortcomings. Others view his remarks as untimely and potentially damaging to team morale. The rumor mill suggests that some of the vocal supporters of the team might be pressuring management to take Weaver's critique seriously and enact changes. Meanwhile, there's also chatter that these public criticisms could lead to an uneasy atmosphere at Hard Rock Stadium. The fans' reaction might become a significant factor in how the Dolphins decide to move forward. In the NFL, fan support and perception often sway front office decisions, and the current buzz is making it clear that Miami's faithful want answers. One interesting angle floating around is whether Weaver's comments are part of a larger strategy to position himself for future opportunities. Some insiders speculate that by speaking out, he's signaling to other teams that he has strong opinions and leadership qualities. There's a rumor that Weaver might be angling for a return to coaching, either as a defensive coordinator or even a head coach. This public stance could be a way of reminding the league that he's a voice worth listening to. At the same time, it's possible that his candidness is driven by genuine frustration rather than career maneuvering. The dual nature of this speculation adds complexity to the whole situation. Whether Weaver's comments are a calculated move or heartfelt criticism, the impact on the Dolphins and the NFL community is undeniable. Meanwhile, the Dolphins' rivals are reportedly paying close attention to the unfolding drama. It's no secret that internal turmoil can derail a team's season, and opponents might see Miami's current state as an opportunity. Rumors from league insiders suggest that other AFC teams are sensing vulnerability and are ready to exploit any cracks in the Dolphins' armor. The chatter is that Miami's instability might affect their game preparation and execution. This has raised concerns among Dolphins fans who fear that the team's distractions could translate into poor performances. On the field, the possibility that Weaver's remarks might contribute to this uneasy environment has not gone unnoticed by analysts. It's a reminder that in professional sports, the internal health of a team is often just as important as talent and tactics. Looking at the bigger picture, Weaver's criticisms highlight a growing trend in professional football: transparency and accountability within franchises. Increasingly, former players and coaches are willing to speak openly about internal issues, shaking up the traditional culture of silence. This shift is partly fueled by social media and a more engaged fan base demanding honesty. The Dolphins might be at the forefront of this trend, with Weaver's statements acting as a flashpoint. There's speculation that other teams could follow suit, leading to a more open dialogue about the challenges franchises face. If handled correctly, this could result in positive change for Miami, pushing them toward better cohesion and performance. On the flip side, if the franchise ignores these warnings, it might face deeper problems down the line. Finally, as the season progresses, all eyes will be on the Miami Dolphins to see how they respond to this whirlwind of criticism and rumors. The possibility of a turnaround or a complete shakeup hangs in the air. Fans, analysts, and league insiders alike are waiting to see if the Dolphins will rise above the noise or be consumed by it. The pressure is mounting not just on the players and coaches, but on the entire organization. Weaver's comments might be the spark that ignites a renaissance, or they could mark the beginning of a prolonged struggle. Either way, one thing is certain: Miami's story this season is far from settled, and the rumor mill will keep spinning as the drama unfolds. It's a narrative that could redefine the franchise for years to come. That's a wrap for today's Dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.